festival of Chida Dahi at Panihati. So let's sing a bhajan to worship Lord Gauranga. This bhajan is by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Chaitanya Krishna Chaitanya Gaurango Dvijanayaka Yatinam Dandinam Chaiva Nyashinam Cha Siromani Chaitanya Krishna Chaitanya Gauranga Dvijanayaka Yatinam Dandinam Chaiva Nyasinam Cha Shiromani Raktambaradhara Sriman Navadvipasudakara Prema Bhakti Pradaschaiva Sri Sachinandanastata Raktambaradhara Sriman Navadvipasudakara Prema Bhakti Pradaschaiva Sri Sachinandanastata Dwadashayatani Namani Sri Sandhyam Yapate Nara Tasya Vancha Sushidhi Syat Bhakti Srila Padambuje Dwadashaitani Namani Trisandhyam Yapate Nara Tasya Vancha Sushidhi Syat Bhakti Srila Padambuje Chaitanya Krishna Chaitanya Gauranga Dvijanayaka Yatinam Dandainam Chaiva Nyashinam Cha Shiromani Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Translation Chaitanya, the living force, Krishna Chaitanya, the all attractive, supreme living force, Gauranga, he of fair bodily complexion, Dvija Nayaka, the hero amongst the twice born Brahmanas, Yatinam Shiromani, the crest jewel of sannyasis who wanders freely, Dandinam Shiromani, the crest jewel of sannyasis who carry staffs, Nyashinam Shiromani, the crest jewel of sannyasis who renounce everything, Raktambaradhara, he who wears red cloth, Sriman, the supreme opulent one, Navadvipa Sudhakara, the source of nectar in Navadvipa, Prema Bhakti Pradha, the bestower of ecstatic loving devotion, Sri Sachinandana, the delightful son of Mother Sachi, that person who recites these 12 holy names of the Lord 3 times a day at dawn, noon, and dusk will achieve the perfection of all their best desires and will attain pure devotion unto the unto the divine lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, dear devotees. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share this bhajan which glorifies the 12 wonderful names of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on this very auspicious day of Chidadahi festival in Panihati. Now let's please request Neela Govind Prabhuji to give us his wonderful class on Nectar of Instruction. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरते नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवा भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी शृण्वता स्वकता कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनं मृदन्तश्च भद्राणि विधुनोति सुकृतस्सह अष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवा भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी तथा रजस्तमो भाव कामलोभस्तयस्ते चेतयेतरणावित्तं स्थितं सत्त्वे प्रसिद्ध्यति Hare Krishna. So we'll continue the place where we left. We'll read the transloka. अत्याहारप्रयासश्च प्रजल्पो नियमाग्रह जनसङ्गश्च लौल्यं च षड्भिर्भक्तिर्विनश्यति Translation purport given by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. One's devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following six activities: eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required, over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters, for practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically. 5. Associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. 6. Being greedy for mundane achievements. Purport. This is on page 36. Simply transferring wealth from capitalist to communist cannot solve the problem of modern politics. For it has been demonstrated that when a communist gets money, he uses it for his own sense gratification. The wealth of the world actually belongs to Krishna, and every living entity, man and animal, has a birthright to use God's property for his maintenance. When one takes more than his maintenance requires, be he a capitalist or a communist, he is a thief, and as such he is liable to be punished by the laws of nature. The wealth of the world should be used for the welfare of all living entities, for that is the plan of Mother Nature. Everyone has the right to live by utilizing the wealth of the Lord. When people learn the art of scientifically utilizing the Lord's property, they will no longer encroach upon one another's right. I'll read this again. It's very important. Everyone has the right to live by utilizing the wealth of the Lord. When people learn the art of scientifically utilizing the Lord's property, they will no longer encroach upon one another's rights. Then an ideal society can be formed. The basic principle for such spiritual society is stated in the first mantra of Sri Ishopanishad. ईशावश्यम इदं सर्वं यत्किंच जगदव्ययं जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जिता मा घृता कस्य स्विद्धनम्. Translation. Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. Trust me, if the entire world follows this sloka, everybody will be happy. Krishna conscious devotee know very well that the material world is designed by the complete arrangement of the Lord to fulfill all necessities of life for all living beings. without their having to encroach upon the life or rights of one another. This complete arrangement affords the proper quota of wealth for everyone according to his real needs, and thus everyone may live peacefully according to the principles of plain living and high thinking. Unfortunately, materialists who have neither faith in the plan of God nor any aspiration for higher spiritual development misuse their God's given intelligence only to augment their material possessions. They devise many systems such as capitalism and materialistic communism to advance their material position. They're not interested in the laws of God or in higher goal. Always anxious to fulfill their unlimited desires for sense gratification, they are conspicuous by their ability to exploit their fellow living beings. When human society gives up these elementary faults, enumerated by Srila Rupa Goswami, Atyahara, etc., all enmity will cease between men and animals, capitalist and communist, and so forth. In addition, all problems of economic or political maladjustment and instability will be solved. This pure consciousness is awakened by the proper spiritual education and, and practice offered scientifically by Krishna conscious movement. This Krishna conscious movement offers a spiritual community that can bring about a peaceful condition in this world. Every intelligent man should purify his consciousness and rid himself of the above mentioned six hindrances to devotional service by taking wholehearted shelter of this Krishna consciousness movement. There ends the second shloka, Atyahara, purport. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसरि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्कायिते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं हरे कृष्ण. Thank you all very much for joining. This is a this is an important section in the shloka which actually tells how sadhaka can be happy in one's life and what is the solution for that happiness. The solution is pretty clear. Give up this atyahara mentality. Actually, atyahara is a combination of mode of passion and ignorance. It is a combination of those two gunas. Because through mode of passion, one will actually over endeavor to do certain things. As through that over endeavoring, he will not get satisfaction. So obviously, through the frustrated lamentation, he goes into the mode of ignorance. Srila Prabhupada, actually, whatever Srila Prabhupada is writing, we should see with what consciousness or with what situation or through what circumstances Srila Prabhupada is writing that. So when we understand the person's heart, then we will understand the gravity in which what he is giving us. So when we know the heart, through that gravity, we can actually foresee and follow those instructions diligently in our heart. Because knowledge everyone will give. Whoever has little understanding, whoever stays in the moment for a few years, he can give. They can give some explanation. They can actually show how the flow is going, how Srila Prabhupada came from Atyahara, and then what he spoke about this, and then how he spoke about giving a bad association. That can be done. Whoever has some understanding, whoever has some intelligence and has some qualities, Brahmanical qualities, he can actually tell them. And then people can also do some research. Arey, what? Forget about this. You type in artificial intelligence. That can you give me an overview of Atyahara as per Srila Prabhupada's Nectar of Instruction? Oh, it will give beautifully. It will give step by step, circum what to do, what not to do, how to do, why to do. Everything it will give. It will give artificial intelligence overview also. Knowledge is available, dear devotees. The problem is not knowledge. The problem is something else. And whoever finds that problem, oh, they will relish this Krishna consciousness. That is a whole point. Why we are discussing this every day? The whole intention is to understand the glories of the acharyas. Dear devotees, if the glories of the acharyas are established in your heart, if the glories of the spiritual master are established in your heart, oh, you will actually do wonders in Krishna consciousness. And surrender will naturally happen in your heart. Nobody has to put an effort. Nobody has to say, oh, you have to surrender. Now, I'll give example how through the life of acharyas we can see this. Srila Prabhupada in the Lilamrita, he goes to Vamshi Gopal temple, for which our Vamshi Vilas Prabhu went there. Vamshi Gopal temple. So that was the first temple where he started living. And that is the first time Srila Prabhupada is completely alone. On one side, he's completely alone. On the other side, he doesn't have money. On another side, his spiritual master is calling him within himself, in his heart. His spiritual master is calling, please do this, please do this. He's telling, give this Krishna consciousness, give this Krishna consciousness in the English speaking language. Print books, print books. This is what he's hearing continuously. And Srila Prabhupada confirms about that in the Lilamrita. He was like, see, actually, a Vaishnava will never express his heart. Srila Prabhupada was not that, oh, I need to express my heart so that so many people will come, so many followers will come. No, it was never his intention. He gave up everything. A person who is so honest, self-honesty is his character actually. That's his life. So that person, he will never express what's happening in his heart. But devotees told Srila Prabhupada that Swamiji, if you tell about yourself, people will come to you because they will understand you. They will know the importance of this movement. They will know who is leading this person, who is leading this movement. If you tell about yourself, they will understand, and then through that they will take up Krishna consciousness. Then Srila Prabhupada says, I will tell. Just see the attitude of a pure soul. The attitude of the pure soul is to actually bring everyone to the process of Krishna consciousness. Because they have no other business. For that, Srila Prabhupada wrote that. So in that writing, Swamiji very clearly explains that he says how he is doing his chores every day. He's preparing bhoga by himself. He cooks some rice, some potatoes, some chapati, and some sabji. He eats at 11 in the morning. He eats only once per day. He's eating at 11 in the morning. And then after that he takes 15 minutes rest. And then after that he writes, he translates. He's translating, but here another important thing to notice. His personality doesn't have any money to print. He is feeling anxiety because he has no money. On the other side, he has to print. And on the other side, his spiritual master calling. No, through this situation, how how this person was able to bring it up? Because he doesn't know that ISKCON will be established. He doesn't know the 108 temple will come. He doesn't know any of these things. But how come this personality is actually engaging in the service of his spiritual master diligently? What was that driving? If we understand that, dear devotees, it is very easy to give up Atyahara. Any moment when Atyahara comes in our heart, we'll remember these personalities. Prabhupada was never that. How come my mind is telling me that? Dear devotees, when Atyahara is coming, that is not you who is aspiring or doing that. That is a mind who's telling you. And we are not that mind. A sadhaka should differentiate himself from the mind. We are not that. The moment we begin differentiating from mind, we can actually see ourselves. And this is an intro to Brahmabhuta state. This is a preface to Brahmabhuta. And whoever comes to that Brahmabhuta platform, he will not see anything else other than his words of his spiritual master, other than the acharyas, other than the Lord. Nothing he will see in this world. He's there in this world, but he's not seeing anything of this world. That means the state of consciousness is elevated. What we began our conversation with, the state of consciousness is in mode of passion and ignorance. How? When all of those six things which we discussed, right? When those six things are there, it is only in the conception of a passion and ignorance. Eating more than necessary, that is passion. Over endeavoring, that is also passion. Talking unnecessary things. The sadhaka is actually thinking that he is through this is again the mode of passion is kicking. But it is easy to give it up when we understand the person who has written this and his heart. This is called as relationship. So now let's go back to that discussion. So in that state, dear devotees, Srila Prabhupada is actually, no, he tells, he wakes up like 2:30 in the morning over there, and then he chants his rounds. So by the time his one set of rounds, 16 rounds are completed, the Mangal Arati begins. He's actually watching all the people, sadhus, because he can see Keshi Ghat. So he was seeing Keshi Ghat, and then he was actually walking. He was actually seeing different devotees. But if you see, all of them has one, Prabhupada mentions, all of them have one perception, but Srila Prabhupada perception is different. Why all of them came to Vrindavan? Because they all wanted to leave their bodies in Vrindavan. Devotees were not even going to Mathura, because if they would leave the body in Mathura, then they're not interested doing that. So that's why they're always in Vrindavan. Now all of these personalities, they have this perception. Their consciousness is this. And then they say Jai Radhe or Radhe Radhe, and then Prabhupada used to return, he used to tell Hare Krishna. So he's watching all of these people. He has no help. His god brothers are not there around him. There's nobody to support. He's completely alone. On one side, his spiritual master is calling. Now, he is, for example, dear devotee, is another important aspect. For example, if you are in the midst of New York City or some other city, let's say Tampa, you're in Tampa, and then you're the alone who's practicing. Nobody else around you is practicing. Just an example. And you go to office, nobody there is practicing. It's all materialistic mindset. How to increase the money, how to do sense gratification. Oh, the weekend is coming, let me go to this particular beach, or let me, enjoy. There is this, there is that. So these are all discussions which happen at office. Now, to what we hear, to what we aspire, that is against that, completely against that. Now, if you're working from home, that is you're the most fortunate person. So you don't have to deal with those things, right? But if you see, through those actions and activities, our mind is actually perceiving all of them. So obviously, you know what happens? Even though you don't want to, you don't want to do that, but the mind will tell you to do that because those impressions are there. Because we are at somewhere else. We are not at home. We are at somewhere else also. So those people's that person's impact will be on us, even though we don't desire. The impact will come because it is consciousness. The words will go in the through ear it goes, and then the mind will process that, and then it will tell us back. Just like you type something in artificial intelligence, it will see that question, it will check all the websites, and then it will give the solution back to you. That is the nature of mind. That is the true nature of the mind. Because whatever you hear, that's why hearing is very important. Shannata Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana. So whatever you hear, that is what we will process. As simple as that. So we should never bog down that why these atyahara things are coming into my consciousness. We need to understand that these things are coming because through my association. I'm not desiring to take that association, but somehow I've been kept in that association. Now we can also see this is a test from the Lord. Now, Lord is asking us to become more pure, even staying in that. Now, similarly, Srila Prabhupada was being kept in another situation. Now, he is there in Vrindavan, but nobody has this desire to preach in this Western, in English language. Do you know how many when Srila Prabhupada was there, how many people in Vrindavan were actually aspiring or actually were cultivating the same heart which Srila Prabhupada has? None. Because nobody was aspiring that. Everyone is aspiring to come to Vrindavan, but Srila Prabhupada is aspiring to go out of Vrindavan. Please think about this. This is very important. And likewise, Srila Prabhupada was also kept in the midst of those people. Now, for example, Srila Prabhupada, if he would have taken that association, then he would have inspired to stay in Vrindavan. Please try to understand this. Just like if we take association of these people of this world, then we will actually aspire to do sense gratification. If Srila Prabhupada would have taken that association, he would have stayed in Vrindavan. He would have told that, okay, spiritual master, I tried, but I'm unable to do it now. And then he would have went back home, back to Godhead. There's nothing wrong in it, but his aspiration is something else. Please try to understand the devotees. This is how a sadhaka will actually elevate himself by taking their association. No matter where we are, it doesn't matter where in America, India, doesn't matter, or Europe, doesn't matter. Where is our focus? What am I doing? For what am I aspiring in this world? We should have that clarity. So that clarity, what it will give? It will give the real essence. then it will give us an understanding. So the moment we chant, then we will remember these personalities. This person, he gave so much his life. He's completely aloof from this world. He's only seeing the presence of the Lord and the instructions of his spiritual master. So that same Prabhupada, after coming to America, after establishing all the temples, you know what, in the time of 70s, 671, 72, every year 15 temples were opened. Every year. 71, 115 temples, 72, another 15 temples. Left and right. Exploded. And then after that, he told one thing. Now, enough of expansion. Try to boil the milk. Boil the milk means be absorbed in the process more. Cultivate Krishna consciousness on a deeper level. Because that is what all day he was doing in Vrindavan. He's writing. He used to write for a few hours and then again he used to go out, take darshan. In the evenings, he used to take darshan of the Goswami's temples. And then again he used to come back. And when we went to Vrindavan last year, we were actually seeing how Srila Prabhupada would have walked in these particular streets. Oh, what was he thinking while he was walking in those streets? Was he thinking about what he has written in the morning? Or was he thinking how does he please his spiritual master? Because by that time he didn't go to US. What might have been going through? Because that same streets were very narrow streets. That same streets, Srila Prabhupada is actually walking in those streets. Their devotees, when our consciousness is with them, Mahat Sevanam, you remember few, I think a couple of weeks back, we were discussing about the importance of Shraddha. And that Shraddha comes through Mahat Seva. So, thinking about these personalities, that is Mahat Seva. Actually, dear devotees, if a person is thinking, for example, your son is in another country and you're thinking about him, that means, do you know where you are? You're actually with your son, for sure. Physically, you are present here, but consciously you are there. Let's say your son is in India and you're in US. You'll think about your son. What is he doing? What is he aspiring? Then you'll be with him. Because consciousness has that power. Because it is because it is pure. So likewise, when we discuss about these personalities, we will actually be with them. You know when Srila Prabhupada will be very happy? When we read these instructions, take this core to our heart, apply this in our life, and become happy. Through your happiness, Srila Prabhupada will be happy. That is the selfless qualities of these personalities. They are never happy with their things which they have done. They are happy if a person is happy in Krishna consciousness. That is their mood. Just imagine, dear devotees, Krishna, do you think Krishna will leave that kind of devotee? No. Krishna is always there with that devotee. So technically, when you discuss about that personality, you're actually discussing with Krishna. You're actually staying with Krishna. That means the moment you're thinking about him, the moment you're thinking about Srila Prabhupada, the moment you're thinking about the spiritual master, we are actually there with Krishna because Krishna is there with them for sure. That is the magnanimity of the Lord because he gave himself. When Lord, I'll tell this beautiful thing. Jay Vijay, they're actually at the door because they will only send those personalities which they think that they have to go inside because they stay at the entrance of Vaikunta. And then four Kumaras came: Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, Sanat Kumara. These four personalities came and they're actually asking, can you allow us to go inside? But they are very small. They never grew. That is their desire. They are the sons of Brahmaji, Lord Brahma. But they're asking, can we go inside? No, they say, no, you cannot go. You're just small babies. You have to go to your home. Just go. You cannot. You cannot go. You cannot enter here. Then they were furious, and then they cursed Jai Vijay. You have to take birth. You have to go to the material world. Now, at that moment, Vishnu comes. Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of everything, all powerful, most attractive personality. He comes. You know what happens after that? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says very beautifully that Lord is actually upset on four Kumaras. Why? Because four Kumaras cursed his pure souls, Jai Vijay. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur proclaims this, that four Kumaras were actually cursed. Four Kumaras cursed, right? Lord was very upset. But he was not showing his upset on those four Kumaras. It's interesting actually. Lord is not actually showing, but what is he doing? He's actually requesting, can you please forgive them? Just see, dear devotees, the person who is the source of everything. Maya adakshana prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena konte jagadvi parivartate. This entire material world, spiritual world, everything is running through my direction. I am the source of that. Aham sarvasya prabho matta sarvam pravatete. He's telling I am the root for everything. Ete cham sakala pumsam krishnastu bhagavan swayam. He's proclaiming that Krishna is a supreme person. Krishnastu bhagavan, bhagavan swayam. Now that person is actually asking for forgiveness. He's telling, can you please forgive my devotees? What is this, dear devotees? That person, that supreme person, he is ready to do, is ready to go to any position to protect his devotees. To protect Jai Vijay, Krishna is actually requesting forgiveness. And through that heart, four Kumaras melted. Four Kumaras got transformed because up until that point, they were not pure devotees. They were in the platform of Brahma Bhuta. That means they have realized that I'm not this body but a powerful spirit soul. They're actually working on it. But the pure devotion was not given. At this moment, our Acharya says, Srila Prabhupada says, at this moment, these personalities become pure because they've seen the heart of the Lord. So, dear devotees, just like you remember last weekend we were discussing, just like how Radhanath Swami Maharaj's heart got transformed through the touch of Srila Prabhupada, because heart gets transformed only through that association, dear devotees. It is not through jnana or karma. That is the core reason our heart will not change when we do some activities, but rather our heart will change when we receive that blessing. Yesterday also we were discussing about that. How the material desires and lamentation can be cured. How the material desires and lamentation will be cured? When we consciously working away from that and then waiting for mercy. It is not that when we give it up, the pure devotion will manifest in our heart. No, 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 no. When we give it up and then when we continue the process, then through the mercy of the Lord, through the mercy of the spiritual master, then we will be purified. Then we can chant Shuddhanam. Ajamil chanted Shuddhanam through the association of, because his heart was transformed when? Because after transforming the heart only, he came to the platform of pure devotion. He came to the platform of Shuddhanam. Now, who transformed that heart? Who transformed their heart? It is when he heard the discussion between the followers of Lord Vishnu who came to protect him, and the discussion with Yamadutas. He was hearing. There's a beautiful conversation, beautiful chapters in Bhagavatam which actually explains that. Because it is through that conversation his heart got transformed. Oh yeah, I made mistake. It's a problem. That actually gave him an opportunity to come to the platform of pure state. So it is not it is not our rounds, it is not our services, it is not our activities will purify, but it is through the mercy of the Lord, through the mercy of the Acharyas, through their presence in our life. That is what will purify us. That is the secret actually. That is the reason why Krishna says Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idamuttam Pratyakshagamam Susukam Kartumavyam. Why that Susukam? Why it will be happy? Why it will be relishment in the heart? Even though it is most confidential knowledge, Krishna tells Arjuna that, my dear Arjuna, I am giving this to you because you are my friend, because I have a relationship with you. I am giving it to you. Through that relationship only, one will actually understand or realize what he has to realize. For example, the Krishna is sitting in the heart. If he says, "Oh, okay, this person shouldn't realize," that means millions of lifetimes we practice, we will not realize. Is it not true? Yes, it is true. It is a fact actually. For example, if Krishna says this person should never understand, that means no matter what we read, we will get the knowledge, but we will not get realization. So to get realization, Lord has to be pleased. Now we should know how Lord has to be, how Lord will be pleased. That is what Srila Prabhupada is showing through his life. When he is in Vamshi Gopal temple, he is continuously writing. He knows why he is writing. He knows why he is doing. Everything he has a clarity. Because he is on a what platform? Brahmabhuta platform. Pure. He is there among so many sadhus. There's so many sadhus in Vrindavan. They're coming actually. And they want to stay. They want to stay in Vrindavan. But this person, he wants to go away from Vrindavan because that is his service. That's what his spiritual master told him. If his spiritual master would have told him something else, just go to Vrindavan, stay there, and then come back to God, that's what Srila Prabhupada would have done. Now see the difference. A person might go to Vrindavan and then stay there without any higher authority's sanction, he can do. But that will not give him the real essence. Just like how on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, thousands of people are there in front of Krishna, in front of Arjuna. But all of them didn't go to the spiritual world. Even this, they have seen Krishna, but they didn't go to the spiritual world. Why? That is not their desire. Their desire is something else. Even though they were liberated, because they died in front of the Lord, they were liberated, but they didn't go to the spiritual world. One will go to the spiritual world only when he gets that qualification. And that qualification is given by pure souls. Dear devotees, this is very, very important. This is what Srila Prabhupada aspired his life. This is what he did all through his life. And that is what he's showing us to do. We need to just follow him through his followers. This is what we need to aspire in our life. When we do this, dear devotees, then without our intervention, Atyahara will go away. Without our intention. It feels so amazing. It feels so amazed. We feel so amazed that, this was there before. No, after this association is gone. I used to feel like that many times when I took the association of my spiritual master through the Vani. Even now I'm taking his association. Actually, matter of fact, they are speaking. I'm not speaking. I remember when my spiritual master told me to preach, and he told me one thing. I asked him what should be the attitude. Actually, matter of fact, before even asking, he told, your spiritual master and acharya should come through your heart. They should come through the heart. Because when they come, dear devotees, what happens? When we understand whatever happiness we are getting from the heart, it is actually gifted to us. For example, on the opposite end, in the material world, people do get some happiness. Matra sparsha sukaunteya sitaushna sukha dukkada agamam painam nityo tantitiswa sabharata. People do get happiness. But you know what happens over there? That happiness, it is through their endeavors, through their efforts, through their this, through their that, through their intelligence, through their research, through their understanding, through their efforts, through their time, through their energy, through their body. Because this is how they think. That's why Krishna gives them also a little happiness because they have put some efforts. Etama prapadyante tam sadeva bhajan. Even a materialistic person is given some happiness. How? Through the sanction of the Lord. Because he has put efforts. No, he goes to the child care old age home and then he donates some money. He goes to this the foster home, and then he donates some money. There's several good things. But the person who is doing it, he's not doing it for the pleasure of the Lord. But he'll get some satisfaction, some sukriti, some punya for that. But that punya will not confirm him that Krishna is the source of everything. Through that punya, he'll be elevated to the higher planetary systems. But that will not give satisfaction to the heart. No, he will go to the higher planetary system, he will enjoy. That is also happiness. How? Through his action, Krishna is reciprocating that way. But dear devotees, the same action, Manasa Deha Geva Jo Kichumar Arpiloto Upada Nanda Kishore. My dear Lord, let me do this for you. This one thing, dear devotees, this one thing, when we cultivate deep in our heart, trust me, every day you'll wake up, you'll get up in the morning, every day you'll be able to chant your rounds diligently. For sure. Before we go to bed, we should pray to the Lord. My dear Lord, tomorrow morning I'll have an opportunity to chant these rounds for your pleasure. To chant this round for your pure devotees. Hare Krishna, I'll be even more happier speaking that. And he will inspire us to get up in the morning. Actually, matter of fact, he inspires every day. But sometimes we hear, sometimes we do not hear. His Lord is always there. He always wants us to go back. He always wants us to come back to his abode. Because what are we trying to do through the process of Shravana and Kirtana? We are trying to train our consciousness. We are trying to better our consciousness. Because through that betterment only, we'll be able to chant our rounds diligently. So the solution to the materialistic desires and the lamentation is what we discussed today. What is that solution? Completely giving up those material desires and lamentation comes through when we aspire for those material desires. When those desires are not fulfilled, then lamentation comes. But the moment we are not desiring that, then there is no question of lamentation. Then you will have spiritual desires. And through the spiritual desires, you will have spiritual lamentation, which is good. You should lament. We should cry. My dear Lord, I'm unable to chant my rounds. That is good lamentation. My dear Lord, I'm fearful. I'm fearful of this material world. Just like a child, if a stranger comes, he goes behind the mother. He goes behind mother's, and then he covers his head with mother's sari. And then he slowly peeks in. And then mother will talk to him. And then he becomes relieved. So that fear, running behind, is good. My dear Lord, this material world is very difficult. I am unable to do this. I am unable to practice Krishna consciousness. Please help. Srila Prabhupada, please help. Dear spiritual master, please pray for me, please. It is only through their prayers, it is only through their blessings and mercy we make progress in Krishna consciousness. Then that gives us inspiration to chant our rounds. Dear devotees, this is actually personalism. Actually, matter of fact, in this sloka, he didn't go to the sloka yet actually, what Srila Prabhupada is explaining. In this purport, he was explaining about communist and capitalist, right? He's actually telling. He wanted to discuss about the heart of Srila Prabhupada, about heart of the Lord. We discussed about the heart of the Lord. How when his devotees were cursed, oh, he was very furious, but he was not showing that furiousness because he wanted to transform them also. This is what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says. See the heart of this person. Now, just imagine the same thing. You know what happens when we do offenses to devotees or aspiring devotees? When we offend them, we should never offend even in the heart. When four Kumaras offended Jai Vijay, was Krishna not furious? He was. So don't we think that Krishna will be furious if we offend a devotee? Yeah, he will be furious. And we need to check whether, and also, dear devotee, this is a very important thing. Sometimes, if you are not getting up in the morning, if there is some issues going on, we need to see whether am I doing any offenses or not. Very important. Because you might be doing some offenses on the mental platform. You might be doing some offenses on a physical platform. Physical platform can be easily seen, but on a mental platform, it is difficult to see. But even that mental offenses at the mental platform is actually affecting our consciousness. When the consciousness gets affected, it becomes weak. When consciousness becomes weak, Maya is there to pull us out. And then Maya will give some desires. Oh, you can watch this video, or you can do this, or you can just watch this short video. What is the problem? I'm chanted my rounds. Maya will tell you, chanted your rounds. No, you can just watch this just for 5 minutes. Nobody's seeing you now. You can do this. So it will try to trick us. So the moment these tricks are coming, we need to understand, "Arey, which I did any problem? Did I make any mistake? Did I offended someone? I need to check." That's why Srila Prabhupada, if you see his heart, he is always depending, dear devotees. Just even though he established 100 temples, he's depending on the Lord. He's depending on the mercy of his spiritual master. He's actually begging, please, can you help? Can you help? Can you help print these books? Can you help do this to me? Can you help serving my spiritual master? Arey, this person, he is actually doing that. Then what about we? What about me? So every person has a right to live. That's what Srila Prabhupada is explaining. That is what he is explaining. Every person has right to live. Ishavasya idam sarvam yat kinchana jagat yat kincha jagatavyayam jagat kena taktvena bhunjeta magridattasya kasya svid dhanam. It's telling everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe or is controlled or is being owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things which are necessary for himself. Whatever is necessary for us, we should keep that. The rest we should engage in the service of the Lord. We should know what is for us, what is not for us. Now, Prabhupada is giving the example of communist and capitalist. Now, communist might pull the money from capitalist, but if he doesn't know that this money belongs to Krishna, then he's also doing sense gratification. Even though he might be distributing that money to others. Prabhupada says that that is also sense gratification. So now we are understanding what he's telling. You should understand the heart of that person. Be selfless. If a person is completely selfless, whatever he speaks, that is actually coming, that is actually the desire of the Lord. For sure. No doubt about it. And when we understand that, when we do that, definitely you get reciprocations. Definitely you see the presence of the Lord. Yes, Krishna is there. Krishna is there today also. Even though in the midst of so many things happening, Krishna is there today also. Now technology is advancing so much, still Krishna is there. Even though the technology might have been advanced so much, Janma Mrityu Jaravadi is always there. Those are his rules. Nobody can break those rules. No matter. Yeah, I work for a biotech company. I don't know how many, few months more. So I work for a biotech company, and then over there they try to make medicine. Stem cells are the the industry. They make medicines. Oh, advancing so much. Let us do this. Let us do that. Hmm? Let us grow cells. Hmm? They are even growing the cells within the eye, Babri. It's very complex. But they are doing so much. But can they solve the problem of birth, death, old age, disease? No, one cannot uproot that. Cannot uproot that. Because all our changes, all our actions, all our activities are within this realm. That is another realm. That realm is not shown. Because we are in this state of consciousness. We cannot move there. To make a product, they should do in a clean room environment. It should be very isolated. They should use biological safety hoods. Everything should be fertile. They should wear ISO qualified, ISO 4 qualified rooms. They should go completely gowned up. And then they grow the cells within that. Just imagine, dear devotees, to grow cells, it's not easy. You have to be, it should be very sterile. In the mother's womb, the child is growing without mother's intervention. Now, who is taking care of that child? The Lord. Always there. Always showing us what to, always. See, even, no, this taking care of the Lord is one thing, but we need to understand He's taking care of all his rebellious souls. Who doesn't want Him? No, He's not taking care of those people who are actually with Him. They're all rebellious souls. We're all against Him. We came away from Him. But still He's taking care. Still He's giving facilities. Ishava Shaidam Sarvam. Still He's giving us beautiful things. When we understand that personality, when we understand that what He's giving us, then how come the atyara still will remain in the heart? It will never remain in the heart. It will go away. It doesn't have any value. And then Srila Prabhupada mentions The wealth of the world should be used for the welfare of all living entities. That is the plan of the Mother Nature. That is the whole point why Srila Prabhupada established all these temples. So that we all get trained, we understand, help ourselves, and then others. Janma sardhaka kare, karo paropakar. Karo paropakar should come after sardhaka, after we understanding that completely. Janma sardhaka kare, such a beautiful statement. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Janma sardhaka kare, karo paropakar. That's what Srila Prabhupada did. All his life, he aspired for that consciousness. Then he gave. He was always aspiring, how can I please my spiritual master? How can I please my spiritual master? When he was in Jhansi, when the people they gave some space to Srila Prabhupada, thinking that Srila Prabhupada can establish League of Devotees. That's what Srila Prabhupada wanted to name before. But all of a sudden, they took that away from him because they want to play cards in that place. They don't want to give it to a temple or a center at that time. You know what went through in the heart of Srila Prabhupada? He was dejected, absolutely dejected. But he didn't give it up. He didn't stop there. He continued. He continued again and again, again and again. So the dejections might come in our life that our mind might not hear us. Our senses might not hear to us. They're like serpents. It might not hear us. But from our end, what we should do? We should aspire for that. We should do, "Oh, my dear Lord, my senses are not hearing, but still I will try to do it for your happiness. I will do." Now then here Srila Prabhupada says, when everyone knows what's there, what they should do, then this world will be peaceful. What we should do? We should be Krishna conscious. That's it. Through that only we get peace. That's what Srila Prabhupada concludes at the end. He states at the end. What does he state? Every intelligent man should purify his consciousness and rid himself of the above mentioned six hindrances to devotional service by taking wholehearted shelter of this Krishna consciousness movement. Dear devotees, when we aspire for this state, Krishna will be very, very happy. He'll be pleased. And through his happiness, we will also get happiness. When he is happy, we'll be happy. I remember spiritual master telling, if your heart is obstructed with something, then see that there is some problem somewhere. Either your hearing is not good and your chanting is not good, or either your services they are not done with right consciousness. That is the that is the that is actually secret. That is a litmus test for us. If our heart is not satisfied, if we are not if you are unable to practice this diligently, then we need to see somewhere the problem is. Either the first problem is the hearing, there is the problem in hearing. All the problems in this material world is to not really understand or is to not really know the heart of our acharyas and not understanding what they are trying to give us. That means when the Shravanam will not be good, then our Kirtana obviously will be affected. That is the first limb actually. If you see Parikshit Maharaj, he he was already a pure soul, but he also lamented. His lamentation was not through material desires. His lamentation was that, Are, how come I offended that person? How come I kept snake on his shoulder? He was continuously repenting. Now, my dear Lord, I should die. I have done a sinful activity. My dear Lord, why this body should be there? Why this? Why? I should give up my kinglyhood. I should just leave. My dear Lord, you should give me that suffering so that I'll come out of this. He's lamenting. He's, he's, he's really lamenting continuously, profusely. He was not doing anything. He was not eating, not drinking. Then he receives this instruction, oh, within 7 days you'll be killed. Oh, then he was happy. Then he gave up. Then we gave, it is not giving up, dear devotees. He was never with that. A lot of people will tell, oh, Parishit Maharaj just gave up. He gave up everything and then he went. No, no, he was never with that. He was there, but he's not there. Simultaneously, one and different. Spirit, pure devotees can do this. Achinta, Beda, Abeda, simultaneously, one and different. He's there, but he's not there. He's there with his family, but he's not there with his family. He's there as a service. He's not there in other way. When there is a service factor, dear, sense gratification will never come. When the service factor is removed, then sense gratification will come. Because that is when that is when Maya will capture. But service is a natural thing, dear devotees. Do you know what happens in the spiritual world? Continuous services. Continuously they are pleasing the Lord. Continuously they are pleasing other devotees. That is their mood. That's it. As simple as that. So that service will go on continuously. And this we need to more aspire. So Shri Parikshit Maharaj giving up means no, he was never attached to that. Yeah. The moment we are attached to that, we can never give it up. We can't even give it up a bucket. Oh, what will I do if I do not have this bucket in my life? For example, you're going from one place to other. Oh, what should I do with this one? This is very dear to me. I've been there with this one since so many years now. Oh, I should carry this also. Oh, I should carry this also. Oh, you can leave. Husband will say, no, you can leave this. Or Mataji will tell, no, 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 I should carry this because I have to use this rice cooker. I have to be with this. Let us carry this to our other city. Now I'll tell another thing and then I'll conclude. One time, a pure devotee is actually going with his wife. This happened during the time of Ramanujacharya. He's a disciple of Ramanujacharya. Kuresha. He's going with his wife. Now, his marriage is also very interesting thing. Kuresha is a king. I'll tell how his marriage is also interesting. Kuresha is a great king. He actually goes to different streets in the night because he wanted to know how his his people are living. That's how great they were. That's how they're called as great leaders because they are always checking the well-being of their dependents. Then that is a true nature. Parikshit Maharaj also did that. Now this person is actually checking. Now one family they were in very deep trouble. That they have husband and wife. They have a daughter. Daughter supposed to be married, but daughter has some dosha, kind of you can say kuja dosha or something like that. She has some kind of dosha. If whoever gets married to that to that person, then he has to leave the body. That kind of dosha she has. So nobody is getting married to that because everybody knows. Because they are also honest. They will tell. They are not like they don't cheat on people. Oh, they don't cover up because they know old days they were very honest. They were all devotees practicing Sri Vaishnavas. And then this person, then Kuresha will go and then he will find out and they are sad, morose. They're lamenting so much. They were planning to give up their life. Now we will give up this life. Next day he calls them and then he says, I will marry your daughter. Then he says, oh, King, you will die if you get married. He says, no problem, I know what to do. He gets married. And then right through that ahuti, that fire sacrifice they do, right? They circumambulate that fire sacrifice. There is a reason for that also. We'll discuss about that later. That circumambulating, that fire sacrifice. And then he says, right after that, now I'm taking vanaprastha. That's it. He got married. He gave her life. He said, now I'm going to take vanaprastha. Just see these personalities. He will not die because he has taken the oath that he'll take vanaprastha, because that means he has wife but he has no relationship or something like that, right? He says, I will take vanaprastha. That's it. Now they are also protected. Now that person, when he's going with her, he asks a question. He can see, he can feel that she has little, her heart is not satisfied. She has some problem in the heart. He asks, what's happening? Why are you fearful? She did not tell him, but he is asking, why are you fearful? He understands. He's a pure soul. And then she says, somehow I'm fearful. I'm walking, I do not have anything, but still I'm fearful. Then they're carrying a kamandulu, just like we carry water bottles, right? They're carrying that kamandulu, that hot water bottle we carry, right? We carry the flask going one place to other. She's carrying that kamandulu. That's what they say. I don't know what they say in English. She's carrying that pot of which has water. And he says, you leave that. You leave that also. And then she leaves that. They both are walking again. After some time, he asks, are you happy? Yes, I'm happy. So she was little sad because she was carrying that. Then he said, you shouldn't carry anything. We should only carry Ranganath in our heart. We should only carry Ramanujacharya in our heart. That should be our life and soul, he said. And then they continued. Water, he will provide. We need to be honest with ourselves. They will provide. This was that conviction. Now, through that conviction, she was happy. This is what we need to cultivate in our heart too. We need to cultivate in our life too. We need to know what is for us. Even though we are dealing with money, we should not be attached to that. Very, very important. That comes when we begin doing some service through that money, because they belong to the Lord. That is what Srila Prabhupada wanted to give. That is what I got inspiration to share. So I'll stop here. Anyone would like to add anything? Please, dear devotees, this is very important to really understand the consciousness, the heart of our acharyas. Because that is the Srila Prabhupada's desire. He said this thing, right? Every intelligent man should purify his consciousness and rid himself of above mentioned 6 hindrances to devotional service by taking wholehearted shelter of Krishna consciousness movement. So when we continuously meditate on these instructions of what not to be done, and next sloka, this is very beautiful. This is very amazing. Utsaha nischaya dhairya tat karma pravartana sangatyaga satha vritter shadvir bhaktir prasidhyati. That means they are favorable. This is shadvir bhaktir vinasyati. They are unfavorable. So these 6 principles which are there, shadvir bhaktir prasidhyati, and these 6 principles which are there, shadvir bhaktir vinasyati, I request all of you, please try to meditate on them. Because through this meditation, if there is any changes, then we will see through the heart. We'll see through our heart. We can see through to our mind, because we are not that. We're something else. And don't be bogged down that these things are still there in my heart. Atyahara prayasas. No, no, no. We shouldn't be bogged down. We should see these are coming. That is not me. Really, to be honest, that is not we. Our consciousness is that. Now, through the process of Shravana and Kirtana, what are we trying to do is, we are trying to transform that. And slowly, slowly we'll transcend from that. Transformation will happen. So this we need to see. Eating more. The more we begin eating, we need to remember Srila Prabhupada. We need to remember them. We need to remember our spiritual master. Oh, my spiritual master told me not to eat, so I'll not eat. This is relationship, dear devotees. This is how we can come out of these things. I remember one time a devotee was sharing in the class, and then he said, spiritual master, I already ate, and then I wanted to eat more. I went, I opened the, I opened the door where, where the prasad is there. But the moment I opened the door, I remembered you. And then he said, you will not be happy if I do that. Because I'm full, I'm satisfied already. But I wanted to eat more. He said, I stopped. He said, I stopped doing it because I remembered. Because when that remembrance comes, dear devotees, then we will stop these things. Over enduring for mundane things, it will not help actually. Talking unnecessarily, practicing practicing scriptural rules only for sake, but not for following them. Associating with worldly minded persons, we should never be eager to associate with them. You remember a couple of weeks back we discussed about this. The moment we associate with them, their qualities will come. For sure. I'll write it down. The moment we are eager, oh, my friend is coming, oh, I want to talk to him. If we have that attitude, oh, associating with worldly minded persons, we should give it up. Because that will not help us actually. Being greedy for mundane achievements. No, I need to write that certificate. I need to become this. I need to become this person. I need to advance. I need to become manager. I need to become a director. I need to become this, that. Achieving for greedy for mundane achievements. That will not help. This is Srila Prabhupada speaking to us. Rupa Goswami speaking to us. We can develop relationship with them by following this diligently. We should be proud. We should go and tell Srila Prabhupada. We should go and tell our spiritual master, I'm following this instruction. I'm very happy. It's because of you I'm following. Thank you. Please continue to give your association more and more. You know how much they will be happy? Immensely happy. Very beautiful, dear devotees. This is how we will develop relationships. Relationships should be on the absolute truth. Relationships that are in the material platform also. There's so many people hugging each other. That is also relationship. But that is not on a truthful platform. That is on a bodily platform, which will give frustration today or tomorrow. Now one can gratify the senses when he's young. He's energetic. He's very strong. But can he gratify the senses when he's 70? That means the senses are cheating us. They're the serpents. His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj says, the senses are like serpents. They take us away from the real essence, which is a fact actually. They're serpents. The moment we try to enjoy this or gratify the senses, we should run. When the mind says we should run and then take shelter of the lotus feet of pure devotees. That's it. Hare Krishna. I'd like to stop here. Thank you all very much for your time. Anyone would like to add anything? Like to share anything? Express your heart?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, so very nicely you glorified Srila Prabhupada, who did a lot for all of this living, all in this world, Prabhuji, living entities. And we should glorify, we should put the glories of what they did, Prabhupada did. and acharyas did in our heart, Prabhuji, and building the relationship. Then, as you mentioned, that's my takeaway, that too, which will free us from the material desires. So, Prabhuji, also when you were discussing about the glories, I was contemplating on the acharyas, like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, the Krishna, who said that Prithibite joto ache nagoradi gram, sarvatra prochar hoibe mor nam. And then Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he had the desire to preach the Harinam to the Western world. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. And he then desired that one too. And he told his disciple, our Acharya Srila Prabhupada. And whenever Prabhupada says, if someone asks, and he just said, I'm following my spiritual master instructions. That's what I'm doing. So Guru Parampara showed the example how to follow the instructions of the spiritual master, Prabhuji. So that's I'd like to just add. It's so amazing, and how they did so much for us. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Because that is what we need to aspire. Acharya Upasana. Krishna became a charioteer. He forgot his godlyhood, became a charioteer because he wanted to please Arjuna. He wanted to make him happy. All these acharyas, they directly descended from the spiritual world. Their motive is to make us elevate. That's all they're aspiring. Completely on a selfless platform. They're so wonderful actually. They teach through their life. They teach through their words, their instructions, even their lamentation. It comes like beautiful songs. They lament in this world that I am the most sinful. But they're actually representing, Srila Prabhupada says actually, they're actually representing the common man. They take the shoes of common man. They teach us through that. They again tell the glories of the Lord. Through the glories of the Lord, we can actually perceive who that Radha and Krishna is. Tadera Charana Sena Bhattasa Nivas. They want to come back again and again. Janama, Janama, Hoy, Abhilash. Life after life, I need to come. And then serve these pure devotees. That means there is kuch to hai usme. There is some relishment. There is at most, that means they know how pathetic this world is. They understand that there is birth, death, old age, disease. There's so much suffering. There's so much sinful tendencies here. The material nature is affecting so much, but still they want to come into this world to serve the lotus feet of a pure devotee. What is this? This was the consciousness of Srila Prabhupada. He was there in Vrindavan. He could have attracted to those personalities who were there, and then he could have just stayed in Vrindavan. But no, his desire was something else, to please the spiritual master continuously. That was his intention. That gave him satisfaction. He was always happy, always blissful. Why? Because he knows why. He knows why is he there, what is he doing, or whose pleasure he is doing. That is his mode. And if that with that state, do you think it is difficult to give up these things? I don't think it is difficult. I would never think this is difficult. These are actually embellishments. This is not to eat more, over endeavor. These are embellishments actually. Because through this following, what happens? Our relationship is deepened, thickened with them. So wherever we go, we discuss about them only. Because that is our life, and so we don't know anything else other than him or his instructions. And this is devotion. Simply doing it for their pleasure. Mamchaya Vibhicharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate. That is when he will do Bhakti Yoga. Sagunam Samati Taitan. Then he comes to the platform Brahma Bhutaya Kalpate. It is through their devotion or their happiness. Every minute, dear devotees, we should try to please them. Every minute. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Amma Bhaswati Mataji. Hare Krishna. Anyone else would like to add? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and Pranam
Hare
always to
Krishna.
Sri Prabhupada.
Subal Gopal Prabhu.
Wonderful explanation, Prabhuji, especially to our spiritual master, Sri Prabhupada, where he sacrificed his life and gave a life for so many devotees. In fact, otherwise without him, we cannot even imagine what our life would have been, especially in this Western world. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, and also how Parikshit Maharaj, even though he was ruling the whole world, in fact, he was dejected that he put, and he was wanting to give up himself. But when he heard that he's going to die, he was actually relieved. So we can see that how passionate they are in serving the Lord's movement, and of course the courage, how detached he is, even though he's a king, and he's ready to give up his life just for one of his, countrymen. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
These are all, we learn great lessons actually through all of these personalities. So when our relationship with our spiritual master strengthens, we get relationship with all the others. And we really aspire to just stay in their footsteps, to follow in their footsteps. Do not have any other desire, my dear Lord. Na dhana, na jana, na sundari. Do not want any of those things. Simply want to serve you. That mode. Oh, Krishna is so happy with that attitude. He will come. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur tells one thing. He says, don't try to see Krishna, but act in such a way that Krishna will see you. That means when we follow the Acharya's words, Krishna will definitely see us. Because Acharyas followed their Acharya's words. They have seen Krishna. Their Acharyas have followed their Acharya's words. They have seen Krishna. They have seen the presence of the Lord. Prabhupada has felt the presence of the Lord when Srila Prabhupada was traveling in the Jaladuta ship. Krishna was actually manifested there. Krishna manifested. He has actually seen the Lord. He felt that Krishna is actually riding the boat now. Now, physically, he has seen or not, that is next. But he felt the presence of the Lord. When Prabhupada was actually chanting, when he was actually preaching, it was in San Francisco. Very devotees were trying to bring a lot of people, but only few came. Prabhupada said, and after completing, Prabhupada said, devotees were like little sad or like morose. Prabhupada, we couldn't serve you properly. Prabhupada said, no, we couldn't make you happy. Prabhupada said, no. You see, Narada Muni came. Narada Muni came and participated in the kirtan. They could feel their presence. So when we aspire to become pure, and through that purity, when we want to serve our acharyas, then we will get the strength to follow anything in this world. No matter what situation comes into our life, we will follow them. Hare Krishna. Very nice. Thank you. Anyone else would like to add?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories
Yes,
to Srila
Pranam
Prabhupada.
Shiraji.
And you. Thank you so much for the wonderful class, Prabhuji, always giving us a perspective how we can reduce our atyahara and how to reduce our desires. And it's also like an English saying is there that the world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for one man's greed. So,
Correct.
so this, so how do we know how much we should need, Prabhuji? Like, instead of staying in a house, we can live in a car or something. And so, how to understand how much we need to have for our family, and then um, and uh, and not be greedy.
Thank you. Very good. Nice. Nice question. Actually, Rupa Goswami's principle is where this come in. 50% of our earnings. Actually, you see so many people living just they get like 50K or 100K. They're satisfied with that. So many people they live in America. They're leading. Forget about whether they practice Krishna consciousness or not, but they can survive. For us, practicing devotees, we do not eat anything outside. We do not go for movies. There's no restaurants. There's no this, that. None of those things are there. Extra things are not there. So, person can save a lot of money by not doing unwanted things. But when a person is saving that, he needs to understand what is he doing with that saved money. Because Chanchala, Mother Lakshmi is actually Chanchala. She doesn't stay. She goes here and there. She doesn't stay. But as per Rupa Goswami, one should aspire for that 50% of his salary to be engaged in the service of the Lord, service of Srila Prabhupada. And the other 50 should be good enough to maintain our family. But this is a difficult thing. Slowly, it comes through conviction. So it is not like one day we said tomorrow this will happen. But this should go in the consciousness deep. Should meditate on this. What can I do? How can I do? In what way I can please? Because after this, we will not hear about this conversation. This is gone. It's Shloka 2 only. And then higher things will, Srila Prabhupada will be explaining other higher principles. And then again, chapter Shloka number 4 comes Dadati Pratignati Guhyamakyati Prachati. They are also offering gifts and charity is explained. So it all depends on conviction, bro. Because this greed is I always when I initially started hearing, a desire used to come that yes, definitely we should do the service. But later on, the desire will be diluted through a materialistic association. So when the desire is diluted through materialistic association, then again they have to begin from point one. Because actually we are taking association with this world. We are sometimes we feel inspired, sometimes we feel not inspired. But we need to understand what these personalities have done in our life. At least a 50% one cannot do. We should begin at some place, some point, and then try doing it. Because it is very, very helpful. Because what are we trying to do is now we are actually trying to follow the instructions. And I gave my last week I gave my example, right? When I began doing that, 100 few years back. I saw reciprocations. So likewise, whoever is doing that actually for their pleasure, he will also see reciprocations. And he'll be happy. And then he'll say, Arey, my dear Lord, thank you for this. I will continue doing this again and again. Because to maintain one's body, one's family, one shouldn't require so much. Something should be good enough. But what that something is again Rupa Goswami said, so that 50% one can live. But slowly, slowly, one should aspire for that state of consciousness. Slowly but steadily. Then it makes sense. Definitely makes sense. So that's how our acharyas, Supreme Lord, will correlate to us. Now we are trying to extend the relationship from our end. Etamam prapadyante. Otherwise, what happens is the time goes away from our hands. That's what I always feel because if I don't react now, the reaction will come with through the material nature. I gave that example once. The Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, he don't know where he had all his money. And he left. Now there is no idea. No, he worked so hard for that. He obtained that. I cannot use it. Anyhow, it has to be gone. Mrityu sarva haras chaham. At the time of death, everything is taken care. When death is taken care of through time, everything is taken care, then why not I react it? Why not I react before? Srila Prabhupada's business was completely run down. He was completely in loss. He knows the nature of this world. Then he appreciated the Lord because he had that conviction. Then he gave everything. Now we cannot give up everything because we have a family. But at least it has to begin somewhere. And one should strive to come to that state of 50%. It's important because we can survive with that remaining 50%. If we cannot survive, Hare Krishna will empower you so much that he will ensure, Hare, there are so many elephants there living in the forest. Who is surviving them? Who is taking care of them? So pure devotees, they give that conviction. The Lord, they will show us the way. It's all working actually. It's the beautiful process. It's a connecting the dots. We are not doing anything. We are just connecting the dots. If we are really this dasanudasa, I mean dasanudasa should do what? Should serve. And what is the best way to do this service? Is this way. And then the moment we do this, our service at office, that becomes spiritual. That becomes karma yoga. When it is not used, then it becomes karma bandhana. That karma bandhana will not allow us to give that taste or that acceptance. It will not come. That is a problem. So slowly, one should actually aspire for that state. Because this greed will never help. There is no satisfaction. One cannot get any satisfaction or solace to the heart through that. Because it is like a fire, wildfire. It will increase more and more. It will always tell you have this, get this. You have that, get that. That English statement which you said, everybody is satisfied. But no, one person's desire is not able to satisfy this whole world. Yes, that is true actually. Because that is the one which is actually pulling us away from everything. The lamentation, the sufferings. Why the sufferings come? Actually, my cousin, he's like 42. We both grow together. I'm 40, he's 42. He's severely infected through a surgery. Spinal. He had a problem with his spine. He's a software engineer. Problem with spine. We both got connected around same time. Krishna consciousness. When we were very small. Then he left in between. He married to a wife who's completely material. So many karmic reactions. Now, just at the age of 42, he's getting that. He has to go through so much bodily difficulties. Why? He also got connected, but he went away from the process. He's not following. He's not chanting. He's not eating Krishna Prasad. He even eats meat. Don't we see karmic reactions for that? We see karmic reactions. Now, I cannot tell him like that this is just see through your karmic reactions, you're suffering so much now. Now, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to establish relationship with him. I'm trying to speak with him regularly. Because nobody will speak now. I know nobody will come and speak to him or pacify him. No, I take that as an opportunity because I have a relationship with him. I want to speak to him, pacify him, slowly, slowly, bringing to Krishna consciousness. Because that is the only shelter, Prabhu. That is the only hope, actually. There is nothing, nobody can satisfy. Nobody can satisfy the other person in this world. The relationship should be on Krishna conscious. Now, slowly, slowly, I'm praying to the Lord. My dear Lord, please help this soul. Please make him closer to you. Please make him closer so that he can understand the instructions of Srila Prabhupada and then follow diligently in his life. Otherwise, his life will be ruined. He's already ruined his life. He's working as a big engineer. He's earning like 25 lakhs in India. What is that? What is that helping? His health is ruined. His karmic reactions do work. And then he's suffering, he's thinking whether my job will be there or not. So many problems. Material nature will not leave. So likewise, this greed will never leave us actually. That's why we should put a full stop somewhere. We should put, and then we should act for their pleasure. Then, dear devotees, what you get is you get realizations. And that realization will remain eternally in your life, in your heart. Because you get that conviction. Then you will be free from these unwanted things. That is the whole point what I said. Please meditate on this instruction. They are our life and soul. Srila Prabhupada, he took so much trouble. He worked so hard to give this. Now it's time for us to reciprocate, to understand and reciprocate. Otherwise, Steve, what happened to my cousin? We were very close to each other when I was in India. And then I came to US. He stayed there. I told him to come to US. He didn't come. He stayed there. Now he's suffering so much. See, the karma will come one day. It will not come. It will not like every day karma will come. It will come one day heavily. When that heavy karma comes, then we are gone actually. That is when I see a lot of people during their difficulties, they leave the movement. Now there are no difficulties, we stay. But during difficulties, when difficulties come, that is why I always stay together with the devotees, when especially through their difficulties. I ask them, can you please tell what's going on? How is it? I'll continue to pray for them because it is important. Because it is that only is a sustenance for us. Otherwise, there is no sustenance. Because these karmas do work a lot. They really do work a lot. Actually, we don't discuss a lot about karma. But we should discuss a lot about that also, because it is important how it is only through karmic reactions. Why there is loss in our life, why we do not have good relationship with our family members. It is through our karmic reactions. We don't see that. Oh, why I should eat only prasad? I can eat anything. Oh, someday I can eat this, I can eat that. No, you get reactions. We don't know when that reaction will repent, will fructify. But the seed of reaction is kept in. The moment we eat anything which is sinful, which is not offered to the Lord, it's a fructification. There's a seed. There's a seed of suffering behind it. We don't see that right now, but we get a reaction. Now, all these years he did not practice. All these years he did not eat prasad. Now, don't we see the reaction to that? We see the reaction to that. I feel so sad. But material nature works. Material nature is not like, oh, he's your brother, I'll ignore. Oh, he is it, I'll ignore. No, no, no. It's very, very powerful. Daive Shubhanami Mama Maya Durataya. So this is, Prabhupada says, right? This is actually Krishna's property. Everything has to be used for his happiness. Now, if you're using it for our own thing, karma, karmic reactions. We need to see how to come out of these karmic reactions. It's important. It's very important. That is our only hope, actually, to take the shelter. Because our acharyas, they are the go-to shelter. They are the life and soul for us. We need to aspire for that. And then whatever they say, we should do. This is what Srila Prabhupada said, let me do. This is what he says, oh, we eat Krishna Prasad, let me eat. This is what he said, 50%, let me do. Let me try to do that. This is what he says, do this, do this, do this. Just we should simply try to do and then move forward. Then you will see realizations in your heart. Then you will see reflections. Your heart will be light. You'll be energetic. You'll be jubilant. You'll be happy doing this, following this, and then telling this. You'll be happy, jubilant. Because we know we are doing this for the pleasure of the Lord. That's how you'll be his representative. That's what we need to ask for. Hare Krishna. Is it okay, Vamshilas Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you very much. But practical life is very difficult in the US. Both in most families, both husband and wife works, and then
Definitely.
devotee families, the wife doesn't work. So 50% is gone that way itself. And then so many things to take care, and then kids, education, and hire and fire at will. So we don't know
I
when we are
know.
going to. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
problem, actually. That's the state.
Yes.
Yeah. It's difficult. It's difficult. It again comes through conviction, Prabhu.
Yes.
The more we are convinced on that, the more we will aspire for that. Today, the movement is little stagnated. Why? Because of this. Because everyone has their own thing to do. They practice, but at the end, they have their own things to do. That is the reason to cultivate good association. See, for me, it is pretty straightforward. I have a clarity what I should do. So it doesn't matter whether this thing is coming, that thing is coming. Fixed up. Just do it. Just like just like Yamadutas were being told by Yamaraj, just do it. Kim kara. They just do it. That kind of conviction should come in one's heart. And then obviously uh, the pitch should not be high. That means my son should also earn like 400. I never have that desire that my daughters, they both should earn, they both should become doctors or they both should become engineers. No. Whatever as per their swabhava, whatever they will do, they will do that. Whatever they're supposed to do, they will do that as per their swabhava. So, but if we have that over endeavoring for my children, oh, they should become that, they should become that. I only have one desire, they should become devotees of the Lord. They should surrender. They should come to this platform. Just like I am doing, they should also do that. And then I try to cultivate and provide that situations and circumstances around them so that they get that. So that for them it becomes much more practical. So that they will tell, yes, yes, Papa, this is doable. Krishna consciousness is doable. Whatever Srila Prabhupada says is doable. I remember my spiritual master says, whatever Lord Chaitanya says, it's absolutely true. We can do that. And then he said, our community should lead that. We should show through surrender, devotees will be happy. When devotees surrender, they're not like morose, oh, I gave everything, now I'm suffering so much. Glad I had that money. No. Through that surrender, one will get conviction in his heart that yes, Krishna is there. Through that conviction only we can chant. Otherwise what happens? The chanting and hearing, they all will become superficial. They will not give solace to the heart. Now that is what we need to show. That is what we need to establish. We should be convinced, and then through our conviction, our dependence, they will also be convinced. For this, we need strong association, Prabhu. I hope it's making sense, right?
Yes,
We require strong association. Oh, otherwise, Metro Nature will say, oh, no, you should keep for yourself. That's it, over. It will tell one thing, oh, it's for you. It can tell me now also that you should keep for you. Hare Krishna. So it is very, very important. But see, now when I give 50%, through that other 50%, I will see how my family is taken care. I'm not leaving them. That's my responsibility. Krishna will not be happy with that. That's my responsibility too. So the other 50%, I'll see how the family, how I can take, rather than buying a big home, I can buy a small home. We can sustain there, we can live there, and then practice Krishna consciousness diligently. I might not buy like big car, I can buy like small car, which is, congenial. I might not live in a big home, I can live in a small home. So that's how we change our situations based on that, because whatever we're doing, we are doing everything for the pleasure of the Lord. It naturally becomes karma yoga. Because we are remembering the Lord at every moment. Because that is our life and soul. Then any difficulty comes, then where do we go? We go to the Lord. And He will show various ways and means to come out of that. I had a lot of difficulties a couple of years back. But I had situations and circumstances in such a way that I've seen that Lord has personally helped us. We would see that. That conviction is increased. Then our surrender will increase more and more. It's all reciprocations, dear devotees. Yetamam prapadyanti. If you understand this one sloka, your life will be blissful. It's all real. See the reciprocations on how Lord is reacting, how Lord is reciprocating. That's all we see. That's how we perceive the truth. Hare Krishna. But yes, initially, yes, definitely, we will. Yes, I also felt that, it is not practical, but slowly, it will come, Prabhu. Definitely it will come. Definitely, you will all become pure devotees. Definitely it will happen. Definitely that day will come. That Raganuga, spontaneous devotion will come. We want that. We aspire for that. Bhaswati Mataji was sharing yesterday. Raganuga, we should aspire for that. These are all the platforms what Srila Prabhupada is giving us. These are all will take us to that state. We should follow everyone diligently, one by one, and then move forward. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu, for a nice question. Hare Krishna. We'll stop here. If I spoke anything wrong, please excuse me. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandut Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandut Pranam.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.